Welcome to this, again, short reflection and Bible reading to accompany our midweek communion service on Wednesday, the 10th of February, which for me, this is my last Wednesday morning communion with you at St. Elizabeth's. Anyway, that aside, I hope that this finds you well. Our reading for this morning is Mark chapter 7, verses 14 to 23. Again, Jesus called the crowd to him and said, "Listen to me, everyone, and understand this. Nothing outside a person can defile them by going into them. Rather, it is what comes out of a person that defiles them." After he had left the crowd and entered the house, his disciples asked him about this parable. "Are you so dull?" he asked. "Don't you see that nothing that enters a person from outside can defile them? For it doesn't go into their heart, but into their stomach and out of the body." In saying this, Jesus declared all foods clean. He went on, "What comes out of a person is what defiles them. For it is from within, out of a person's heart, that evil thoughts come: sexual immorality, theft, murder, adultery, greed, malice, deceit, lewdness, envy, slander, arrogance, and folly. All these evils come from inside and defile a person." The Gospel of Mark is seen as being the first of the four to have been written. It is seemed to be written in the most blunt and direct language possible. I enjoy the bluntness of it. Jesus talking to his closest followers, for example. "Are you so dull?" A good Jewish person at the time of Jesus, he religiously followed a list of rules and regulations in order to be in a right and good relationship with God. Jesus, the Son of God, is rather subverting that idea. We see that in two ways. Firstly, the issue of what food can or should not be eaten is not so much about food, it is about how your relationship with God actually works. To the observant Jewish folk of his day, Jesus, the Son of God, is saying that it is not what you eat or do not eat that puts you right or wrong with God. What you eat isn't the key thing. And this is such a radical thing that Jesus was saying to his followers, who were at that point all Jewish, who were absolutely to the core Jewish in their beliefs and behavior. He's saying that it's okay to even eat that which was not seen as being kosher. This is truly deeply radical stuff. So our relationship with God is not kept in place by our ritual observance or completion of certain rituals. If you think that you become right with God, for example, because you religiously attend church, then such church attendance actually doesn't put you right with God. The final part of this episode demonstrates what does put you right with God. It's your inner life that counts. It's what comes from the heart, your inner self, that inner conversation that you have with yourself, your inner hopes, the values which you hold towards God, which count. After some 2,000 years of Christian belief, we would say that our simple trust in accepting and believing who Jesus is and in what he has done puts us right with God. That is the value of our inner heart conversation, which counts. Understanding what makes our relationship with God work, that inner heart conversation, that's the dullness that Jesus is wanting us to avoid. He doesn't want that to be a wrong conversation. So a closing Wednesday morning, couple of thoughts for you to consider. How do you see your relationship with God working? Are you clear in your own mind, in that inner conversation you have with yourself, about how belief works? Now, there is a wonderful simplicity to Christian belief, which is simply us trusting who Jesus is. Yet as soon as you seek to live that out, things get a little bit more complex as you begin to think about things such as how your relationship with God truly works. Next week, we'll see the beginning of the season of Lent. Next Wednesday is Ash Wednesday. Maybe the season of Lent this year will be a fruitful time for us all to think afresh about how our relationship with God truly works. And may this reading challenge our thinking with that.